if we do get into a position where this market does spend a little bit of time below the 20-day moving average, there is risk that we could go a bit lower here. Here's what you need to know before the bell this morning. Let's kind of rewind the tape here for a second. February and March, we were on the show talking about, hey, we're very overbought, very extended for means. Markets are stretched. We're going to have a bit of a 5 to 10% correction. And we had a 5% correction in April. So right in line with what we expected, came down, tested the 100-day moving average. And the first sign of that to occur was this break of the 20-day moving average. And that 20-day moving average has continued to be really strong support for this rally all during that advance that we had, really kind of coming out of the November lows. That 20-day moving average was just kind of the running line. The market would come down, it would test it, it would rally off of that and just kind of keep grinding higher. It wasn't a big straight up advance, it was just a slow grind higher all along the way from November. But eventually the market got to a position, we had this correction back to the 100-day moving average. So this is kind of what we've been talking about over the last few weeks. The market's been once again kind of grinding right along that 20-day moving average. Now, on Friday, this was the first time that we broke the 20-day moving average since going back to April. So again, now this market could rally today, get right back above that moving average, and this won't be an issue, right? It'll be a test of the 20-day moving average, and this market will continue to grind higher. However, if we do get into a position where this market does spend a little bit of time below the 20-day moving average, and this is going to be something worth paying attention to, there is risk that we could go a bit lower here. Let's zoom here a bit. So we've broken below that 20-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is sitting right now at about 5040, give or take. 5,400. And then right below that is about 5,250 for the 100 days. So we could have a decent correction here going into the election. And we've talked about this, kind of over the last couple of months. This is the first real kind of sign of weakness we've seen in the markets, a bit of profit taking coming out, repositioning. And of course, we saw this big rotation of the small caps last week. Now, is that sustainable or not? We'll talk about that tomorrow. But the issue here is that we're now starting into that process, potentially, of a bit more of a correction. We did get a decent MACD sell signal on Friday as well. This cross was pretty deep, and so that's enough to really suggest that we've now entered into potentially a bit weaker phase of the market. So this is why we were taking some profits last week out of stocks, booked some of those gains, put those in cash. We're going to kind of let this market work itself out a bit. We're heading towards oversold on a short-term basis, but not really that oversold yet. So this market could, work its kind of grind here a little bit, kind of work its way lower. Again, if we go back and look at this April correction, which I think will be very similar to what we're talking about now, the market kind of broke that 20-day moving average, actually rallied back above it slightly, and then corrected again. So, it wasn't just an immediate sell-off. This market kind of work its way through a process of that correction for a little bit of time. There's still a lot of bullish sentiment right now. People are still wanting to be invested, and we haven't really spooked those buyers out of the markets just yet. But again, back as I said, back here in April, it took about a week or so before the selling pressure came in, and then we actually came down and tested that 100-day moving average. So again, we could see very much the same thing. This market kind of grind here a bit, and then start a little bit of a correctional process over the next month or two as we start to head into the election, de-risking, etc. Now, again, we don't know anything just yet. It's important. If this market rallies today back above the 20-day, it's a false signal here, and we could just kind of ride right back up to the recent highs. So this week will be important. It'll tell us a lot, and we'll keep you updated every morning as we go through our market process. But again, it is worthwhile to note that we are in a position of having a sell signal, take some profits, reduce some risk. We've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. Still not too late to do that. It's still a good opportunity to manage risk in your portfolio. Okay, that's what you need to know before the bell this morning.